and welcome to Glitch Point. So this week, I guess we have no idea what we're going to talk about, so we're going to do a little wingy dingy on the storylines. But to be honest, it's hot, and that's okay because everything's burning.
Yep.
I just came from LA, which is also on fire,
Oh
and there's
God.
smoke everywhere, which is actually worse than the Seattle area that we're from,
Oh yeah.
are currently living. But both are ablaze, and it's ridiculous. So yeah, give us a break.
Yeah, it's pretty bad out there. I mean, I don't know the last time Washington was ablaze. LA or California always has issues, but
I feel like it's a
which is
yearly thing,
sad.
didn't it?
Oh
Doesn't it
yeah.
just
No,
every?
yeah, California really just doesn't have a good time when it
And then the
comes to
news
fires.
reports about it are like, well, they really dropped the ball. They could have done controlled burns all year, not had this happen. But it's like I don't
Well,
know what the hell's going on.
yeah. I mean, I know this year they triggered that there's like a gender reveal party that triggered like 6,000 acres of damage that someone lit off fireworks for.
What do you mean a gender? What's a? Oh, like
Yeah, for like a baby.
oh.
They set
That's
like
not where my
six.
mind went.
Good. Yeah, they set like 6,000 acres on fire and destroyed it via explosion
I thought it was like
that
a
went
gender
off.
transition party.
No, I don't know if those exist, but they could. I don't know.
Just the world we live in, I guess.
Yeah, but in the gaming news world, on yesterday, the Series S, which has been super duper leaked out the ass, we've talked about it like a billion times.
Yeah.
They finally got leaked officially, and I want to applaud the Xbox marketing team because it got leaked, like all of the details, even the console's design, which we'll talk about, and out of like it was like I think at like 11 o'clock at night Pacific time, and about an hour later, their Twitter decided to just roll with it rather than pretend like it didn't happen, and just said, "Okay, cool. Now that it's out of the bag, this is official. Here it is." And then they
Yeah.
dropped the price at $299 for the Series S, and that's insane. Like
Well,
that is insane of a price for what they're bundling with that little thing.
I know what people are going to do with this thing because it's basically a stream box. I mean, you could even say the S of the Series S is for stream box. That's not official.
Yeah, I guess, but I mean, this thing is everything. The only difference between this and the Series X is it can't do 4K,
Yeah.
and it has half of the hard drive space at 512. Um, and doesn't have a disk drive. But other than that, it does 1440p at 120. It's the same next gen CPU. It's just a clock down GPU, and it still does ray tracing and
Yeah.
has the new SSD. And it's only $300, which is insane.
I guess it's hard to tell, but it really, I guess, depends. And the argument comes back up if they are really going to port every game over to Windows. And if that's true, then, this becomes less exciting, because I think that this is just like here's something that you can stream games on or whatever, And I mean, it's still pretty impressive, but
I mean,
I
this
don't.
is like I mean, this is definitely targeted towards the most budgeted next gen gaming. So like this is
Yeah,
definitely for people who they don't have that much of a budget, and if you don't have that much of a budget, yeah, you're not going to have a 4K TV and not even maybe 1440. So to be able to say I can play the like because this will be playing games in the future. Like this is a new CPU. It's for like the same powerful as like the PlayStation 5 CPU and the Xbox Series X. It's just not pushing out a high resolution, which some people just don't care.
well, I
Which is
think this is.
fair.
Yeah, but I think that a lot of people like this is going to be their entry into Game Pass.
Yeah.
Like
Oh my
there's
God.
going to
Yeah.
be. But see, that's it's the way they're able to market this is because most people don't really get the concept of being able to stream their laptop or their computer to their TV, in various different ways, which I think takes a little bit of a setup. So this is just a very easy way to have a console that actually has some power behind it, and can do everything that a stream box would do,
Yeah.
without having to mess around with getting it on your television. So I don't know. I mean, it really. That's why I said like I guess for those people that just want to be able to enjoy Game Pass and then also play a couple games that might not be on it, who knows, how that's going to play out as well. Um, but yeah, I mean, it'll handle it. And you're right. A lot of people don't need 4K, and they don't need a lot of these higher end things that I think the extremists want.
Yeah, and then so after they announced that, I think it was this morning, they also said that the Series X will be 499, which is what I mean. Everyone was kind of jumping between is it 499 or is it 599, and a lot of people thought it was going to be 599, which was I think too expensive. So now it's just yeah, you get twice the hard drive space, you get 4K resolution and a disk drive for $200 extra, which that's I mean 500 that's not a bad price for a brand new console, especially one that's pushing the specs that the Series X is.
But the throughput for the SSD is still going to be the same, right? I mean, like
Yeah,
the okay,
like the
okay,
consoles are identical except for their GPUs. One just pushes out 4K, one pushes out 1440. That's it.
okay. So there won't be any compromises on the development side
No.
for the console because that's what I didn't really read about it, and I was a little worried about that.
Yeah, so I mean for a developer, yeah, it's like, oh, it's literally just down the resolution, which I mean that makes a lot of sense cuz I mean it's kind of weird because if you look at the One X right now, there's a lot of games that it's running at 4K, and it's weird that this new Series S won't be doing what the One X does. But I mean, you have to look at it as like the CPUs right now that are in the current gen of consoles are really really old, and that's what's bottlenecking a lot of games running at 60 FPS over. But they can still push out the resolution because the GPU is kind of getting what's the phrase,
Dated.
bottlenecked.
Oh yeah,
So I think it's really smart, and I think for developers, this is a fantastic idea that there's multiple specs, but it's really just a resolution drop. There's no, and even the fact that it does ray tracing as well. So that's even better for the people buying the Series S. Is you're even getting those really, really great looking graphics. It's just running at a lower res, which is perfectly okay. And I think that another audience that this really could be going for down the line, which is if the Series X and S have full keyboard and mouse support, which it seems like they're trying to get to at some point, because they have it in current gen, but it's not widely supported. There's a lot of people in PC gaming that are used to having a digital only library from Steam, and they have 1440p monitors, but this is a next gen leap into having ray tracing, and it's only $300 to get a ray traced next gen game. So this is a cheap way to transition into just more of a simple setup on your like PC desk space, and it's
yeah,
super tiny. This thing is smaller than the Series X, and it's like I would say under half the size of it. It is super small.
yeah. It looks nice. I really like the look of it.
Yeah, I love the jokes that people are saying. It looks like a fast food speaker
Oh,
that you talk into. I love it, but it is a cool design. It's like distinctive, and I don't know. It definitely looks really good next to the Series X.
yeah. Well, the Series X is much more cube based, so this will actually. I mean, I actually like this form factor a lot better than a cube
Yes.
based system because the cube based, it just kind of it has to be standing up. Like it feels like this you can put it on its side,
Yeah.
possibly, but I don't know how that would affect airflow or any of the other things, or if that's even needed.
Yeah, this one's
Um,
yeah, I mean both are meant to go on its side or standing up front, which is good.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
I don't think the Series X looks very good though on its side.
no, it definitely looks way cooler up top. Yeah.
And you would be affecting airflow. I mean, like just to the heat alone. I mean, they really built that thing to be standing up. So you're kind of disadvantaging yourself, and maybe you're thermal throttling. Who knows?
Yeah,
If you put it
maybe.
on its side. I mean,
I know the way because they have the one fan in the top of the console. It is meant to draw air through because there's vents on the bottom and the top, and then like maybe a couple, but not a lot on the back. So it pushes air through the console no matter what. But I would imagine standing up might be a little bit better.
we'll just under the heat rises
Yeah,
policy.
true.
So I mean, it would help on its own. It wouldn't get trapped. But yeah, you're right. If there's good airflow, I guess it really doesn't matter. But yeah, no, it's exciting that they're keeping everything synonymous, especially with the ray tracing. Because the ray tracing for me is and especially looking at a lot of these graphics cards that are coming out. Everybody like Nvidia and stuff, they're really trying to make it very simple to interact with the ray tracing aspects of the card. So this like what I keep seeing is like this ability to just turn on and off ray tracing and like so and they could easily do that as the Xbox Series S and be able to say, well, you can just turn it off for this one, turn it on for the X, and no big deal. You don't need ray tracing. So it's cool that they did it, and I think it'll advantage a lot of people because I don't think a lot of people that, especially for this consumer base, who's going to be the introduction into gaming or maybe wants to start gaming for Game Pass. they probably aren't really familiar with ray tracing, aren't really watching the videos about what ray tracing does to games, and this way they'll get an introduction into that as well.
Yeah, like I think if their marketing team can just really nail the messaging on just because this is cheaper doesn't mean that this is not next gen. Like this is still a next gen console. It's gonna just sell immensely.
Yeah.
Because it's so cheap. And I think that Sony's kind of figuring out what the fuck they're going to do. Because I know for like the past 2 weeks, I've noticed that there has not been a lot of news. And it's definitely been a waiting for who's going to say the price first. And a lot of gamers have been like getting really antsy about which one's going to come first. And I think that I was hoping that once Xbox dropped, PlayStation would follow suit. But they still haven't yet. It's been about 2 days. And people are really wondering why PlayStation won't just announce their price. And there is a lot of worry that they might be missing the price war on this one. That the discless version might be $590 or $499 to match the Series X, but the one with the disc is going to cost hopefully only like $549, not the full $599, which would be awful.
Yeah, but I still think that the biggest element in this competition is exclusives. And
yeah,
I mean, that's kind of where, I mean, yes, there's a lot of games that are Xbox exclusive that people are really going to be excited for, Halo, things like that. Gears of War and whatever. Anyways, but I just think that PlayStation already came out with the exclusive, kind of approach. Like, we have these games that you want, and you're going to have to come onto our console to play them. So I think that they'll gain a lot of sales that way. They might even be able to hold the higher price point. They have before in this same situation.
Yeah, I mean, we might be getting some similarities of 2006 when they announced the PS3 was going to be 600, and that epically failed. But they didn't have, but you're right, they didn't have the exclusives like they thought they did at the time. And I think that you're on the right track because I want to say it was like 2 or 3 months ago when I think Jack Ryan is the current head of PlayStation. He was asked what the PlayStation's cost was going to be, and he said that he sees PlayStation as like a high quality brand, and that the PlayStation is going to be kind of targeted towards a high quality gaming experience. And I think that they realize that they do have the more critically acclaimed exclusives. I wouldn't say better, but that's a personal preference. But they're definitely more critically acclaimed. Everyone loves PlayStation exclusives, and they know it. So, but I don't know. It's really hard. I think that if Xbox was just coming out with the one console, and that they didn't have Game Pass, it would work more. It would work a lot better now than.
I just think that the way this is going to pan out, not for Christmas season and all that, it's going to play a lot different January, February, March. Once we really get an idea of what Game Pass is, what the capabilities of it are on the PC or Windows, I think that we may find ourselves not really even needing an Xbox Series S for most of us to be able to stream.
So really quick, because you said Game Pass, but are you talking about the streaming service Project xCloud or Game Pass?
Okay, so are you not allowed to play Game Pass everywhere?
No, so Game Pass there's Game Pass for console and Game Pass for PC, which is like you have a catalog of games that you can download and play natively on your console. And then Project xCloud is the one where you stream those games, and that's
I understand that. Oh, I see. I thought they were going to bring actual downloadable content to to Microsoft as well. Or sorry, to Windows.
Yes, there is Game Pass for PC.
Yeah. Okay. No, but not Game. Okay, so there's xCloud and Game Pass.
Yeah.
So aren't they stating that most Game Pass games are going to also be available for PC? Aren't they trying to bridge that gap between who plays on PC as well as who plays on console?
Yeah, I mean, a good amount of Game Pass so if it comes from Microsoft, yeah, it's going to go to Game Pass and it's going to go to both. And then I think that if the developer has the game available on both platforms and joins Game Pass, it makes it easier for them. But if a game is only on the console, I don't know. There is some weirdness when it comes to third party, but yeah, both. There's different catalogs on Game Pass for console and Game Pass for PC.
Well, I think that the major third-party players are just going to probably release it on console first and then release it on PC later.
Yeah.
I would imagine that's good. So it's not saying you can't play these games. You might have to wait. But just the idea that if a developer is able to take the advantage of deploying it on multiple platforms, I think they would. That's what it sounds like it is. It sounds like it's just the capability to do that is there, which means that's what I'm saying. Like if a lot of your best games come out on the PC and you're fine with that, and like you can play it with the controller or whatever you want. For most of the people that know what they're doing, they might just wait. They might just wait on these games and just play them later. Who knows? Yeah. Because you're talking. It's a hard thing because it's never really happened in this form before.
Yeah.
So I just don't know where. Maybe it is the hardcore gamers, the ones that want it day one, want to be able to be the best at whatever the new relevant shooter is. They'll want the console so they can get it, but then maybe this S doesn't even play well because those people are the people that would wait anyways, and they can play it on their computer. Or maybe it sells to people that have Macs. Who knows? I mean, there's just a lot of divergence here with who they're selling to and why they're buying it. And it's kind of confusing.
Yeah, I think that the strategy I'm kind of seeing is that they're fine. Like Xbox doesn't care if you don't want a console and you have a PC that's really like you have a great PC. They're fine with you just becoming a Game Pass PC subscriber or just buying a PC because you have Windows on it. So Microsoft wins either way.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a PC, that's when they start giving you the options for consoles. And do you have $500 to spend or do you have $300 to spend? And I think that's just where they wait. But then they did announce this morning a really crazy deal, which is for $0 down. I'm going to start pitching you a sales pitch, but for $0 down, you can get a brand new Series X and Game Pass Ultimate subscription, which is the one that comes with PC Game Pass, Gold, Console Game Pass, and then eventually Project X Cloud for $35 a month. For I think 24 months probably. So for $35 a month, yeah, you can get the newest and best console and Game Pass, which means that's like over 100 games that you can just play on that console right away, and any new game, period, from the Xbox platform.
They feel like a phone company.
Oh yeah, it is. It's a phone contract. That's what it is.
And
I don't know if it'll work, but a lot of people it's getting super positive reception from a lot of gamers. People are like, "Oh, I was poor when I was younger, and we couldn't afford it. This is insane." Well, that is a pretty insane deal.
I mean, this is kind of like what the dream of Microsoft was when they tried to put out their own phone, like this all Microsoft community. And I would be surprised if they probably don't try the phone again down the line, even though it was a Colossus failure.
Yeah.
But just this every device, play everywhere kind of thing, this like all Microsoft all the time. And I mean, that is a very phone kind of thing, it's like, but it's interesting. I didn't know that they were doing, whatever you call them,
contract.
Yeah, contract.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I won't be getting it, but I think that there's a lot of people, and it's getting a really positive reception. So there's probably a lot of people who are going to be getting this console at a super. I mean, I think that over time that equates to like $800, but if you look at it as you're getting a $500 console and Game Pass subscription, which is $15 a month for that entire contract, that's insane. I don't know how it works. Like, I don't know how great that works out for Microsoft. Like, I don't know how much money they're making, or if that's kind of their just get the console in the living room as fast as possible type of approach, which could be it.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, God, I just want to get rid of the console. I really hope. I mean, I've seen things on Game Pass, and I know it's just phones right now. But people are saying it's very comparable to everything else that's out there. But damn, dude, I just want to get rid of I just want the console gone.
Yeah, I can see that. Well,
just less clutter.
It'll be one day. I don't know if this will be the last one. People said it was the last one last time. I think that was overly ambitious, but I don't know.
Yeah, well, I know how all these. I mean, I remember Stadia, and everyone was going crazy over Stadia.
Yeah, and that
didn't work out. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think that'll ever. I don't think that'll ever work out. I really think we're just too far in this industry where if you're not Sony, Nintendo, or Xbox, you just don't have a chance anymore.
Yeah. Well, in the gaming realm.
Yeah, in the gaming realm.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, a lot of these companies have put a lot of time, to corner those realms and really be relevant. It's like for Google to just to come around and say, "Hey, I want to put my foot in." It's like, nope.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, get the fuck out, dude.
Yeah.
And Xbox, I think, really made a decision back in 2013 when they got their asses handed to them by PlayStation on stage and launched the Xbox One in such an awful way that I don't think they're ever gonna let that happen again because they're super duper aggressive right now.
Yeah. Well,
And
there's so many avenues. It's like they just keep opening up new avenues to become
yeah,
a
it's so
Microsoft.
easy to get into this platform and have a fun time. And right now, the only way that we know of for the PlayStation is you can register on their website to get a link to pre-order.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and in other news for Xbox Game Pass, as we've been talking about so much, EA decided to merge their platform, not streaming platform, but they're like their Netflix of gaming, EA Access, which I think is EA Play now or something. I don't know. They are merging with Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. So, which pretty much because then I want to say it was about 2014 or 15, EA made EA Access, which was exactly what Game Pass is, but only for EA games, where they put their games on there, you can download them and play them however you want. And it came to the Xbox console first, and then when it came to PC, and I think PlayStation 4 was when they rebranded it to EA Play. And I don't know how much a month that is, but I'm imagining it's about 10 a month.
Yeah, I mean this is huge though.
It's $30 a year. Wow, that's cheap as fuck.
Yeah.
So and it's only $5 a month. So now it's on Game Pass, which means that Game Pass is now, as much as you might hate them, the best way to play EA games.
Yeah.
Which means Star Wars and sports games and Battlefield. Like that's a huge win for the Xbox platform. And it's on PC too. So these, like, if there's EA Play for PC, and that's going to transfer as well. So
yeah, that's I mean exactly. I mean I think this is where it's at, is just these. Oh, I didn't know Titanfall.
Yep, Titanfall. I mean, yeah, the Respawn entire. Maybe Anthem will come back. Who knows? Maybe this will be the rebirth of Anthem.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the new Skate.
Yeah.
Will be here, and
Mass Effect. Yeah. There. Yeah, no, that's really cool. I mean, that just definitely allows for people to get excited about Game Pass.
Yeah.
Or xCloud. Wait.
Game Pass.
Are we Game Pass or xCloud?
Yeah.
So they're coming to Game Pass. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how this will work with xCloud yet. I'm hoping that I don't know what if they're gonna keep the name Project xCloud or what, but
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of weird. Like I agree that like PlayStation's really got the great exclusives in the current time frame, but that's all they have now. Like they don't have last gen. They had the better games and the better console and the better price point, and now they just have the better games, but you can't. It's hard to argue that because third parties are going to be playing better on the Series X since it's more powerful, so they have the better games other than exclusives.
Yeah.
And they have Game Pass, which means they have more games.
But these aren't exclusive, these EA games. I mean, they're just saying that they're coming to. I was just trying to figure that out.
Pass, yeah.
Yeah, so they're just coming to Game Pass. I mean, this would be more interesting if they were coming to xCloud.
Yeah, I mean, well, see, that's the tough thing with xCloud is they've barely given details on how devs can get their game to it, because it's not like Stadia, where Stadia you needed to like have a Stadia build and you give it to Google and then they publish it on the platform and it plays on their build. But with Project xCloud, their goal is you don't rebuild the game for them. They just take your game and stream it on Xboxes that are like pieced together to make an Xbox server. So like the devs have like zero input on that system. I think they literally just have to say let it happen. And I think that Microsoft eventually will say if you want your game in Game Pass, it must be required to be on xCloud, which then means all these games just came to xCloud.
Which is where I think that becomes really a huge selling point.
Yes.
I mean, this right now is just saying like, okay, well, these will be available on Game Pass, but also, I mean, they could be available on PlayStation. Who knows? I mean, it's not really saying it's exclusive. It says exclusive in-game challenges.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird. Like, yeah, you can always buy these games on a PlayStation, but
yeah, I mean, yeah, so like, what is this? I mean, they would be, of course, right?
What do you mean?
of course they're going to be sold through the Microsoft Store.
Well, yeah. I mean, this just means that in that one, when you pay $15 a month to get all 100 Xbox Game Pass games, now you just got more.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So this joined the Game Pass family of now I don't have to buy any EA game because it'll just be on
Yeah.
X Project or fuck. Now I'm mixing them up.
Gotcha,
It'll
gotcha.
be on Game Pass.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay,
Which,
cool.
as someone
This
who
is really
doesn't
nice.
want to buy Madden every damn year ever again, I'm
Well,
pretty happy.
does this mean EA is going to become making shittier games because they're giving them away for free?
I mean, I don't know.
I mean,
That's tough to say because I mean they've had EA Access for 7 years now, and I wouldn't say that they got better or worse at making games. They've kind of just done the usual. They have one or two highlights, and then they piss off the whole industry, and then they have a recovery game, and then there's always Sims and the sports games that they have.
what is EA Access?
It's
Membership
the exact
as well.
thing as Game Pass, just EA
Gotcha.
exclusive, like EA only games.
Okay. Gotcha. I am on the limb or
You're
whatever
hip,
you say.
You're hip now.
Okay, so yeah, this is. I mean, it's definitely cool, and I'm sure that a lot of people will be excited about getting this if they want. Yeah, every year to play the next Madden game.
Yeah. Well,
But yeah,
I mean,
they're
see, that's actually a good point I didn't think of. Is like I think for Microsoft, like yeah, this is always great. More games on Game Pass is always great. But now there's a lot of people in this world who will like that's the only gaming experience that they really have is playing the newest FIFA or the newest Madden, and that's about it. And that's they buy the new console and they buy a new game every year, and they're happy with that, and that you can live your life that way. But now they don't have to do that, and if they just sign up for this service in order to do that exact thing that they're doing, now they have like a little bit of incentive to, hey, why don't you play a different game or try out these new games? Like Microsoft is just that's another audience that they're trying to absorb into their gigantic umbrella of gamers.
But PlayStation does this as well, though. I mean, they give through their or their membership. I don't know what it is, but they also give away free games. I don't know if it's going to be to this extent. I mean, obviously they
Oh
haven't
yeah,
said.
yeah. I mean, yeah. There's always the games with gold. I don't know if they're gonna keep doing that with Game Pass, where you get 2 free games a month. But
Yeah. So I mean, is it possible that they're going to have to kind of come out with their own? I mean, these aren't even exclusive, so I suppose they could do the exact same thing.
yeah, I mean, there is PlayStation Now, which is part of that service is like Game Pass, but it's definitely not as new and as well received as Game Pass. And I don't think that developers are hopping on the PlayStation Now boat as much as Game Pass. So I don't know how PlayStation is going to answer the Game Pass thing because everyone loves it and it's making them billions.
Yeah. No, it's pretty nice. I mean, I played some really good games through Game Pass,
Yeah.
uh, like Guacamelee.
Yes, that's a great. I mean, Carrion went to Game
Carrion?
Pass right
Oh,
away.
did it?
Yeah, that's how I played it. I didn't buy the game. I had it on Game Pass.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And that it's just fantastic to be
How many
able to
games
have
do they
this
give
game.
you currently?
Game. Uh,
So is it like because it
Xbox.
used to be like 5 or 6 games, right? Like per week or something, or is that just for the gold?
So yeah, gold is every. That's just the like being able to play online. That gives you 2 free games a month or 4 new games a month. But Game Pass is just a giant catalog of games that is like rotating, like Netflix. They have a set of
Yeah. Okay.
movies that they play, and I think they keep just saying over 100. Um,
All at one time.
yeah, all at once.
Okay.
There are 389 game. No way.
But all of them you have to. So all of them you have to download. None of them are streaming. I mean, that's kind of the nice thing about now is that you can download. You have the choice to download or stream. But I
Yeah.
guess that holds them back a little bit because if a game doesn't have the capability to be streamed, now you can't put it on now.
Yeah, that's true.
Uh,
So let's see. For console games, they apparently have 250 based on their website, and for PC Game Pass, they have 208. That's pretty great. Holy shit!
yeah, that is really good.
Wow. So
Where
for
this, I
15
really,
a
I
month,
like.
you get 389 games to play on 2 different platforms plus gold.
I like that they did this because, like, it really does. Because now has a lot of first-person shooter games that are coming out on it, and I just think that you aren't going to be able to do that, And not for somebody that wants to be competitive. They're not going to play a first-person shooter online through now. Although I've never done it, so I don't really know what the experience is. But I can't imagine it not having latency. But this way, it kind of splits the two up, so you can still Game Pass. You still download it. I suppose you can
Yeah.
download now games. I don't know. That wasn't always the case. That's like very within the last year that you could download all games on now.
Yeah, like there is
Get
a
a better experience.
there's a subset of PlayStation Now games that you can download, but it's not as diverse and it's not as new.
But I mean, they have the platform, and I kind of like that it's all in one place. So there is that aspect of it. I know they're not going to be able to sell that very well, but having these two different services, they're two different apps. I don't even know how the UI is going to be. Um, Kind of sucks.
Wait,
Uh,
for what?
for XCloud and
Oh,
um,
and Game Pass?
yeah, and Game Pass. I mean,
Yeah.
we don't know this. I don't think, but how the UI is going to work out with this. At least with Now, it's like it's there. It does both. It streams if you want. But now the problem with Now is it has to stream and it has to be downloaded. They should just intermingle.
Yeah.
Some games can't be streamed, but I'll just call it Now and just send it to the next console. And maybe they will. I mean, we once we learn more about things, that would definitely be the preferred application for me. I mean,
Yeah, I'm hoping that the dream for Xbox, because yeah, I mean xCloud is still in beta, it's not fully released. I hope that their dream is if it's on Game Pass it's streamable, which means those libraries are identical, and then maybe there's other games that aren't on Game Pass and are streamable, which is weird. But I hope that it's just there's the Xbox app that you can download on your phone, and that's where you can find your friends, chat on parties, message people, or just play games.
yeah,
And I think that'd be fine because there's also there's two avenues with Projects xCloud, which God, there's just so much about the Xbox platform to explain. I hope that one day they really streamline it all. But there's the streaming from a server, which is you connecting to a server some random place in the world that's running your game.
yeah.
And then there's home streaming, where you tell your console to stream your console's game running on your hardware to your phone in your own home network.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Where
Okay.
so then now I think that's where we're getting into, if you do home streaming, every single game is streamable without anything, because it's just you own the game, it's your home console, it's just casting it like a Google Cast to your
Yeah,
phone.
yeah.
Where the other one might be a little more limited on the library side, but there should still be all Game Pass games are on that service. So I think that a lot of people are looking at the home streaming as a great thing to be able to kind of not take down, but kind of compete with the Switch of being able to go play on the toilet and just go play on your house. Maybe your parents want to watch TV, so you just go play somewhere else. That's completely doable now.
Yeah.
And then the other one is going to be more of a luxury item for people who have amazing phone internet speeds and live in a great city.
Well, I mean, maybe it's I don't know. It just depends how seamlessly they can make the UI, and I think that they probably will make this so that the user on the other doesn't really see what's going on, but gets the capabilities of all these features
Yes.
with seamless transfer between them. I mean, I don't know. Like if you're gonna be able to play the game, like if you just want to send it to your phone, whether it's being streamed on the server or not, like maybe it can just do both. I don't know. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how they do this. I mean,
Yeah.
right now, because it really is the interplay between all of these ideas that will make it feel really good.
Yeah, and I think that I think that this is something Microsoft has struggled a lot with in the past, which is making a great ecosystem, and Apple has always done better than them. Where
Yeah.
like Microsoft's always been a disjointed experience, but I think that Xbox might be them finally achieving that goal, because they announced or I think it was 2 weeks ago, they announced they call it the new Xbox experience, which is just a dashboard update to the consoles and all of their phone apps. And they're finally deciding to all of the UI gonna look the same on no matter
Yeah.
if you're on PC, Xbox. It's like it's gonna look and feel like the same UI, which is like, holy shit, it's long enough. Like I can't believe it's taken them this long to do this. But I think that they're starting to try to test out in very small bits, so that way when they are ready, they can ship it in a good state, which is the continuing on different devices. So something that they announced with the new Xbox experience is when you record a clip on your Xbox, they understand that it sucks to type like a tweet out or an Xbox message on a controller with a joystick. So what they do now is you can allow the console to send the clip it recorded directly to your phone and open the Xbox app for you so you can type and send your thing on your phone right away.
Yeah.
And I think
No.
that'd be cool if we eventually take whatever they just did to that and just say, if I press the guide button, there's a button that says resume on phone, and I literally just tell it to go to my phone, and it takes the game I'm playing, throws it to my phone, and I'm streaming it to my in-home network, and I just walk away, and I start playing on my phone.
Or the vice versa. Your phone
Yes.
shows you what's playing, and you just click it. And now whether it be showing on both devices simultaneously, and the fact that you can run multiple apps at the same time, your friend can play another game.
Oh, shit.
Well, you grab the game because it shows all the games that are being played. You can play the other game, or you can even go over and switch over to your friend's game and start playing with him from your phone.
Yeah, you could make it to our phones or kind of new controllers. You just sync up like, oh, I'll play, like with Battletoads is a great example. It's drop in, drop out co-op. It would be really crazy if your phone could come over with their iPad or their controller and have their own screen and just join into your game locally.
Yeah. I mean, this is kind of where the seamlessness of it is, like, just being able to not really, the UI is so good, you don't really know what's going on, but it feels good, like.
Yes. And so far, the new dashboard feels that way. It's super snappy. It's never felt better. The stores particularly is phenomenal now.
Yeah.
Which was not hard to do. It was the lowest bar that I've ever set for a online store. The Xbox store was ass. But yeah, I really hope Microsoft can finally have a seamless experience between all of their platforms.
Yeah, and I think this is what it's going to be really beneficial for playing it on your computer, and if you can play these same games and also interact with who's playing on the TV, because then you can very easily set up like Halo co-op where you're in different rooms, and I think that bringing that essence back to gaming, I think will be very beneficial, because I think that was one of the driving forces early on, was this kind of competition locally.
Yeah.
Which is something I hope that they realize is a big thing, because it's kind of gone the wayside. And I hope through these types of services we can kind of recreate it.
Yeah. And I something that Xbox has been doing for, I want to say 5 years now, which I think is underappreciated, that I wish more people either knew about or used, which is you can do Xbox Live parties on your PC and with console gamers. So if you have the Xbox app, rather than, because like a lot of people use Discord on PC, which is perfectly fine. It's like the best thing for team communication and stuff. But if you open the Xbox app on your PC, you can invite people who are playing on console to join in a single Xbox Live party and talk cross-platform.
Yeah,
which is just
really
not doable with any other service, because Discord is not on a console, and there's no other thing that's like that. And it works pretty well. There are some times it's pretty bad, but it is really nice to be able to play cross-platform like that.
Yeah, and I mean, it like, especially if you get your Bluetooth device is that's connected, you switch. Well, I don't know how this would work, but you'd stay in the chat no matter what device you go to, and that way it's all seamless. And I mean, that's really cool. I mean, I think that this is kind of what we're seeing from them, and this is the approach that they're going at. So I think with a lot of these sales that they're doing, and the payment plans and all this kind of stuff, it's just trying to get as many people involved so they can see how cool it is.
Yeah.
See how cool this community is, and kind of get people on board with this, which is the slogan, but it's what is it? Play everywhere. Something once, play every. What?
What? I don't know.
It's something once, play everywhere. But isn't there like a slogan like that?
I don't know. I know there's the Xbox Play Anywhere thing that's on games. There's. I don't know. What is the current Xbox slogan? Because I remember the old days of Jump In with the 360, which I loved that one. Oh, Power Your Dreams. That's the current one for the new console.
Power Your Dreams. That's nice.
Yeah, it's pretty good. What's the PlayStation slogan?
I think it's
the
just
future of gaming.
Play Anywhere.
I think PlayStation 5 is the future of gaming, which is starting to become ironic because they're not really doing something like Xbox. They're doing the same thing, just a new console, a new gen, which I respect, but
weren't they the ones that did like the commercial where it was like PlayStation 20 or
I can't remember. I think so.
Yeah, where you were like in VR basically, or in the holodeck.
Oh yeah, it was for the PSP for some reason had like a PlayStation 20 ad.
That was cool.
Yeah, and you're just like, okay, why? But yeah,
Yeah,
it was neat.
I think it was 20. I can't seem to find it, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, obviously for all these things, love hardware, and it is nice to see, the advent of all these consoles pushing hardware, which is
Yeah.
really nice. As we've talked about before.
Yeah, I
Um,
do. I love buying a new piece of plastic like none other. So I'm super excited to do that again.
yeah,
But the downside is Activision, as usual, is doing their Activision thing, and they announced, was this morning? Oh, this was a week ago. Wow. Okay, well, a week ago, they announced that they would be joining the $70 price point for games, but very oddly, so 2K announced this early this summer that the new 2K basketball game was going to be $70 if you get it on the new console, but 60 for the old console. And everyone was like, "Oh, that's stupid." But and no one else did it. And then Activision most recently announced that they were going to do it, but it's really weird because for the new Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, you can buy the last gen version, the Xbox One and PS4 for 60 just like normal. And they're telling you that that version, the $60 version, supports cross-gen gaming, like you can play with people on the new consoles and cross-platform, and it's backwards compatible. So if you buy the $60 version, you can play it on the new consoles at no additional cost because it's backwards compatible. But there's a $70 version that has two versions of the game. One is old gen and one is new gen that I guess has better textures or something. Like it doesn't make a lot of sense.
yeah. Well, this is
Oh,
the flip of ray tracing, probably.
yeah, and then the
I would
PS5
imagine.
version will not come with the PS4 version, but the Xbox Series S version will come with an Xbox One version. I don't understand.
Yeah, I guess this is just the in between point of consoles. You
Yeah,
know.
it doesn't have to be this hard though. They could just release one version and
Yeah.
just upgrade it like Cyberpunk is not doing this. You buy one version and it gets upgraded for free for the next gen consoles. And tons and every other game developer is doing this. Why do they got to make it so hard?
Well, I think it's because of the point in which they probably developed it and what they were targeting in the beginning. It's like they probably put a lot of time to make this game, and now they had to do more work to make a second game that for the new console. Who the hell knows? To
Yeah, I
be
mean,
honest.
yeah, I guess it's sad
Yeah, I
to
mean, it
see.
doesn't. I don't know. Again, I'm under the banner of I would pay $100 for a game
Yeah, no,
if
yeah,
it's good.
I don't want to go down that road of letting games get that expensive because I understand that not all people can afford that. But I'm in your boat of I'll pay $100 for a great game.
Well, no, to be honest, I would like it because it would force developers to make a really good game because people aren't going to spend $100. But then, of course, they would just make it cheaper. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, if
And
eh,
there's certain games because it's kind of weird that everything's stuck at 60, where certain franchises have a majority of the marketplace. A lot of these, especially with Activision, a lot of these games are, I mean, beat out the sales of other games by large amounts.
yeah, I mean, and that's why they're doing it. I mean, the fact that 2K and Activision decided to take one of the two of the most popular gaming franchises and put the $70 behind it is because they know people are going to buy it anyways,
Yeah, people are going to buy it anyways, and
which
that's
sucks.
but that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
And maybe that's what we need. Maybe we need a regular supply and demand with games because I really don't understand why they haven't done this before, other than the backlash and everyone kind of agreed to sticking to 60. But yeah, I mean, I think people will pay,
yeah.
especially just a $10 hike. That's like nothing, and that's a gateway drug. Sure, who knows where it's going to go from there? But yeah, I don't think they're going to lose any money.
Oh no, they won't.
Yeah, it's even odd that they're even allowing for a $60 version.
And see, that's my thing is like,
Yeah.
what's how much better is that Series X version? That's gonna convince me to not just buy the $60 one and just backwards compatible play it.
Well, yeah, I just don't know why they're even giving you the option if they're going to make some sort of statement on the price of games and the
Yeah.
work that they put in. And it's kind of fair because the amount of work that it takes to create a game today, and we've talked about this, is a lot more than it took. I don't know how long it's been 60, but
Yeah.
it's been 60 for a very long time. And it takes a longer development time, which means more money needs to be put behind these projects, which means there should be a little bit more of an incentive at the end. And maybe this, if we did pay a little bit more, maybe we wouldn't have these huge umbrella companies that are like saving small development companies that can't survive.
Yeah.
Because they would at least make enough money so it wasn't, so that they could live somewhat comfortably during their next development cycle rather than just jumping right back into the, oh shit, we got to make every dollar to survive. You
Yeah.
know, because that's what it is right now. It seems that way for, if you're not large enough and you're not, publishing a bunch of games as well, then it seems like you can't survive.
Yeah.
And I think that's unhealthy for the industry as a whole. It just allows for these monopolies to come about, and the things that we complain about. The reason we complain about Activision, the reason we complain about these big companies, is because they can survive, and they're the only ones, so they can do shit that we don't like. But yeah, so I don't know. But everybody likes it cheaper, and of course there's torrenting, so who knows? I don't even know I haven't torrented in so long. I don't even know what the state of torrenting is game-wise, like if you can even do it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure people definitely just still do it, but yeah, I'm in the same boat. I don't know. I have no idea how I would go about and what it looks like out there. Don't pirate games, everybody, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it'll happen. That's why I think a lot of these things solve the problem with these streaming services. I think, and also just Game Pass alone, and just this constant games all the time that so it's just like this monthly overhead, I think, solves the pirating games issue a little bit.
I mean, I think, yeah, when it comes to pirating, the easier you make it to play games without having to pirate, more people are gonna not pirate the game. I mean, a lot of people say, like, yeah, the only reason you should ever pirate a game is if the game is literally not going to be sold in your country. Like, it is impossible for you to give the developers money to get the game. And then there's always another reason that I can't remember. But I feel like that's a pretty okay reason to pirate a game at that point, if you live in a country that just doesn't have the game.
Yeah, I mean, but this is the whole thing with GOG, right? And the DRM free. Like, do we really need to do DRM stuff in order to protect these games?
Yeah.
Because, right, if you try to stop people from doing it, which is digital right management, by the way. Anyways, if you try to stop these people from pirating games by like force and trying to make it harder to pirate games, they're just going to keep doing it and try harder. But if you give them a better source to get the games, as you said, it's like it just gets rid of that. And you don't even need to do this. You don't even need to bog down the games, because a lot of these things will cause issues with how the game plays. There's been a lot of DRM issues. I think that the last one was Doom, wasn't it? Eternal had DRM stuff that was like slowing down the game on certain.
Oh, yeah, it had like a really, really intrusive anti-cheat system in it or something. Yeah.
I guess that's not digital rights. I guess anti. Yeah, there's something like that it had that was slowing it down on a lot of people's computers, and and so it's just, what are you gonna do? But hopefully we can get to a point where this is just like Netflix. I would never consider even well, I guess if it's not available, but I don't know. I don't torrent anymore, so
no. Yeah, it is. The easier it is, the less torrenting will happen.
Even with music, it's like.
I mean, music is almost a joke at this point to pirate. Like, it's just like everybody has some sort of streaming platform, and if not, it's always going to be on YouTube.
Yeah, and YouTube sounds pretty good. I mean, it's definitely got the most hardcore compression of any other service, but it still sounds. I mean, that's the thing. If the song's good, who gives a shit?
Yeah, it's good enough to where you don't need to really pirate. Like, it's so good on the music industry for figuring that out. But I'm sure there are people out there who still pirate music.
Well, there's YouTube Music, right?
Yeah, that replaced Google Play Music.
Is that got less compression?
So YouTube Music is just
Is it lossless? No.
No, God, no. It is the same as just like Spotify or Apple Music. It's the same type of service, except YouTube Music has a library of music, and then it allows
Ooh.
creators to tag a video as music and not a video, and then it shows up in that platform. So it's like it merges a streaming platform with the music side of YouTube into one app that can like intermix YouTube videos and normal music into one.
Okay. Okay.
It's actually pretty cool, especially so YouTube Music is really great if you love listening to video game soundtracks because most video game soundtracks can be found on YouTube and you can intersperse them with normal music flawlessly.
Did you know there was Amazon Music HD?
What?
Yeah, it's lossless music service by
How much
Amazon.
more?
Well, try for free for 90 days. I don't know. Is it not? I guess it's not part of your Prime, that would be amazing if it was part.
Yeah, I mean, everything feels like it's part of Prime.
It becomes another additional $12.99 a month,
Oh, okay.
and it's
Interesting. I wonder if it's good.
I don't know. I just I looked up lossless YouTube, and this came up.
Nice. I mean, what is Tidal? I've heard
Yeah, titles.
high fidelity music streaming. Yeah, I don't know if it's. Oh, that combines lossless with high definition music videos. Yeah, okay, so.
So I guess it says that. I don't know. Anyways, this looks like YouTube. This is too much reading. I'm not going to do this. It's someone saying that does it accept FLAC files, and then it's like an answer. It's fine.
It's an answer.
We can move on. I'm not going to read a forum on there.
No, we could just change our podcast to that. We would just read forums every day.
Yeah, sure. That's what I do anyways. Join me on my day to day.
So, I mean, we only got like 10 minutes left. So, what have you been playing recently, Cody?
Not
Have you been playing much at all?
No, I have. I just came from LA for a long period of time to see my family, but no, I played Ori and the Blind Forest. I basically am on the last little bit of it when finally you get the owl and you do the
cool.
owl part of it. So I want to finish that. I really enjoyed that game. We talked about Carry On a lot, about movement and like how fast you can move around the levels and stuff. Ori is another one where I didn't realize how good it was going to be. It really picked up because a lot of the things you can do in Ori is just like very perfect puzzle based and movement, and you can move really fast. And
yeah, no, it's a great player controller. That's
yes.
Like one of the best parts of that game is just running around as that little guy.
So I'll probably try to finish that, and then I don't think I can go straight into the second one.
No, that's a hard game to just binge twice back to back like that.
But at least it's primed for the second one. I am excited because I'm going to build a new PC once these.
You getting? Which one are you getting?
I don't know. I'm going to wait till AMD comes out with their stuff. I'm not gonna jump right away.
That 3070 though, that is an insane deal.
It is, but we'll see. Yeah, I've been watching a lot of Moore's Law is Dead, and he doesn't seem to be so impressed, and he thinks that the AMD lineup can be, or R&D can be comparable.
I think so too. I mean, a lot of the benchmarks that are coming out of the Xbox and the PlayStation 5 are at par with what that 3070 is pushing out, and
yeah.
So, and I think that I'd imagine for developers to be able, if AMD's RDNA 2 is really, really powerful and like is comparable to what the RTX platform has been bringing for a long time, or for a couple years now, it'd be nice to be able to like have those same tools across both platforms.
Yeah. I'd like to see, what it'll be. Hopefully, I don't think it'll reduce the cost because the cost is so much reduced already, but. The only thing I'm a little scared about is the availability of the cards for the Ampere series cards. So if I don't jump right on the bandwagon right away, who knows? Yeah, it's a confusing buy this year, but exciting nonetheless. So that's kind of what I'm priming for because there's all these games I haven't been playing, especially like Doom Eternal. I want to wait until my new console to play that. Um,
Oh, damn, dude.
and then
That's a tough thing to
Alex.
wait on. It looks really good on current gen.
Yeah, but all the new that's what I was saying. It's so exciting because all the new stuff is coming out for all these games that I haven't played, and I'm gonna wait till I build the new desktop, and then I'm gonna play all these games with their extra DLC that's all releasing.
Okay, yeah, that's
So
fair.
it's like
I'm doing that
it's
with
great.
Ghost of Tsushima. I didn't buy it, and I'm just gonna wait for the PS5 to play it because I want to play it on like the new controller, and maybe it'll be updated on launch. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I feel you.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess that's kind of what I'm doing, but yeah, not playing too many games at the moment.
Yeah, I
Um,
haven't really been either. I've been really enjoying New Super Lucky's Tale still. I think it's a phenomenal third 3D platformer. Well, I guess it is third person, but and then I'm just about done with Battletoads, which that game just kept getting better. It is a phenomenal sequel to Battletoads. I
yeah.
thought it was going to be a reboot, and I'm glad it wasn't. It is it's a direct sequel to the first game, which is really cool. And I think that I don't know if the studio has done anything else. I think they're called Dalala Studios or something. There's
Yeah.
some European developer. It's a fantastic game. If this is their first big game as a team, like congratulations.
Yeah. Well, I just bought new Super Lucky Tale.
Nice. Well, yeah, you
On
should
yeah.
play. It's definitely not like it's a little more chill. I wouldn't say it's easy. It's not like I would say like Super Mario Odyssey is in terms of difficulty is a little bit more difficult than this one in terms of some areas, but it's definitely not like an Epic Yarn like Kirby's Epic Yarn or what was that
You
other
mean
or
baby
like
games?
yeah, it's not yeah, there you go. It's not
It's
a
not a
baby
baby game.
game, but it's not quite like hardcore third person platform. It is a great like just chill game for a while, but there's some parts that get a little strugglish.
Yeah, that's good. I need a different type. I've never even played. I mean, I actually was going to get it the last time you talked about it last podcast because it sounded interesting, and I just since they slapped the new on there and it has all this awesome stuff, it's perfect
Oh
time
yeah,
to come in.
it's way better. Like I would never recommend playing the old one now because this one is just better in every way.
Well, just the control scheme change
Yep.
alone.
Yes.
Yeah, which is something that you said was a little bit difficult was the control scheme in the old one.
Yeah, it just felt sluggish, and I mean I think the big difference is just the animations feel way better because on the original he runs on all fours like a fox because he is a fox, and it looks nice. It's a good animation. It just doesn't feel quite right, and now he's bipedal and he just runs on his legs, and it just looks
Oh,
and feels
okay.
way better.
Yeah.
It's tighter controls. That's the best way to put it.
Good. Good. Yeah, that's exciting. Yeah, there are a lot of like games that that are just still around that I just haven't like Death Stranding's another one where it's just like I never played it.
Oh, me
I
neither. Oh my
I,
god, I forgot about that game.
I consider playing it because it was I don't know, it seems interesting and people that played it that I talked to really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So and then I have a couple friends playing 2K PGA Tour
Oh yeah.
21. I don't know if that's any good, but I don't so I'll
Well,
have to see.
now that it's on Game
Yeah,
Pass, it's on Game Pass, so it looks like we're gonna have to have another golf tournament, Cody,
yeah,
with a
definitely.
real golf game now.
Yeah. Yeah, not that simple.
The Mario,
Which was I think
dude, Mario Golf
yeah.
is great, dude.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, I guess that's it.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we will see everybody next week. We're gonna try to pull ourselves together and hit the Monday mark.
Yep.
Just a lot of traveling and whatnot going on, so it's been a little hectic, but we will never miss a week. That's our
No,
goal.
we will not.
All right. Talk to everyone later.
No, not bad.
Yeah, for winging.